I've had a couple live question answer sessions, and I haven't gotten every question answered in there. So here's some questions I haven't had a chance to answer yet for you. I love it when people comment on my videos. I love it when they ask questions. I've had a couple live question answer videos and tried to cover a lot of things, but I don't always get every question answered. So let me try to address a few of the questions I have not had a chance to answer yet. DizTales asked me not too long ago, what is your favorite parade at Disney? Personally, I love the Boo to You parade at Mickey's Not So Scary. That was a great one, but you had to go to the party to see it, so it was a tougher one to see. The regular parades would be a tough choice. I absolutely loved the Christmas parade. Christmas was one of the favorite parades. I also have a very special place in my heart for the Main Street Electrical Light Parade. Probably because it was one of the very first parades I saw as a kid, and it was also the very first parade that my kids saw when they got to visit Disneyland. Just a really neat parade, a lot of special memories. It's old, it's probably due for refreshing, but there's just a lot of sentimentality in that parade for me. Melancy Everdeen asked me a while back, what is your favorite park, Disneyland or Disney World? I'll be totally honest with you, I like Disneyland better. I worked at all 4 Disney World parks. I worked at Magic Kingdom and Epcot and Hollywood Studios and Animal Kingdom. I know those parks really well, but I kind of grew up going to Disneyland. Disneyland is smaller than Magic Kingdom, but it actually has more rides and attractions in it than Magic Kingdom does. Disneyland has Walt's touch on it. There are things at Disneyland that are not at any of the other parks simply because Walt wanted them to be there. Like the petrified tree that he gave to Lillian. That's at Disneyland. You're not going to see anything like that at any of the other parks. Matterhorn is unique to Disneyland. Indiana Jones is at Disneyland. Alice in Wonderland is at Disneyland. There's a lot of things there that aren't anyplace else. So for me, Disneyland is special. It's also the park I went to growing up. So if I have a choice between any Disney park that I've been to so far, and it's only the ones in the United States so far, I haven't been to any of the ones outside, I would have to pick Disneyland of them though. Sprinkle Cupcake asked me, what's your favorite attraction in Branson besides Silver Dollar City? If you've never been to Branson, it's got a lot of shows. It has a number of miniature golf courses and go-kart tracks and various other things. But as far as picking a single favorite attraction, that's tough because there's a lot of small ones. There isn't any other big ones. I can tell you a couple of my favorite shows. If you ever go to Branson, you're like, what shows do I see? Go to Sight and Sound Theater. As I record this, they're doing Moses, but they have a new production every couple years, and they are incredible. It's a huge theater. The set wraps around you. The special effects are wonderful. Go to Sight and Sound. You won't be sorry. Even if you're not into Bible stories. Possibly one of the best shows in Branson is Six. It's 6 brothers who sing a cappella, but they don't do a cappella like you think a cappella. They do pop, rock, country, movie soundtracks, all sorts of stuff. Easily one of my favorite shows in Branson. And then, of course, if you really want kind of the Branson feel, and go see the Presleys. The Presleys put on a great show. They're definitely country, but they've got a lot of gospel music. They're just a great show. Otherwise, if I had to pick an attraction, well, I'm hoping Shepherd of the Hills gets open. Shepherd of the Hills has been up and down because of various things. So hopefully, as you watch this, Shepherd of the Hills is open. If it is, go to it. Go up the tower, go on the zip line, see the show, check out the shops. Shepherd of the Hills is wonderful. Christmas is awesome there with the drive-through lights. It's over an hour-long drive-through. And then the Alpine Mountain Coaster that I did a short video on is also great. Jonathan Nurs wanted to know, what states have I lived in? Well, I grew up in California. Grew up in Northern California. Actually lived in Southern California for a few years. Met my wife right in the middle at Santa Cruz. We actually lived in Texas for 2 years, just south of Dallas. We lived in Florida for 7, and we're now in Missouri. So we took the short route to Missouri, across the country. Yeah. Glendon Van Sand wanted to know what hobbies I have besides Disney and theme parks. I'm a big science fiction buff. You've probably seen my Doctor Who hat in a few videos now. Love Doctor Who, love Star Wars, love Star Trek. So really the whole science fiction genre is wonderful. I'm a huge reader. Love Tolkien, love C.S. Lewis. So fantasy fiction is another favorite of mine. Read a lot. I love history as well. I was actually a history major in college before I became a pastor. Don't ask me how that worked. But I'm a big history buff, and so I'm constantly picking up things, whether it's World War II, Civil War, medieval history, which actually led into one of my other hobbies. I do a lot of genealogy. I really enjoy keeping track of the family history. I've got another cousin in California that we try to compare notes. Hey, Chuck, if you watch this, we're overdue. But I've got a lot of research I've done in the family history, and I'm actually working on building a tree for my stepfather right now. That's a lot of my hobbies. I love video gaming. I just don't have a whole lot of time for it, so I don't get to do it very often. I usually have like one online MMO that I play, and I do that typically like twice a week if I find time, and it's not for a whole lot of time. Sports, I love the NFL. I'm a huge 49ers fan. I'm also a big NASCAR fan. My favorite drivers recently retired, so I'm kind of in the process of picking out some new ones. Really like Kyle Larson, because he's actually from Sacramento area. I lived right down the road from where his parents live. I'm also a big Eric Jones fan, but that's kind of because of his girlfriend. His girlfriend's a cousin of mine. Woohoo! But I really enjoy NASCAR. I know some of you are going, it's driving in circles. You need to go to a live race. There's a lot more to it than that. And I doubt you could drive 6 inches away from somebody else at 200 miles an hour. Gold Ranger wants to know, what does my family think of my channel? We're still all kind of mystified by it. When I started the channel, it was just a way to tell my stories without driving people nuts in my family, hearing the same story over and over. And we've all been kind of astonished by how it's taken off. It's been a lot of fun. My son, every time somebody recognizes me, and it has happened a few times, has just been flabbergasted, like, why do they know you? It's really been kind of neat to watch it grow. Now, it's not huge. For some of you, you may be saying 24,000 people is a huge thing. It's really not. When we're in a country of 300 million and there's people all around the world, I'm just this little dinky small fry in a huge pond. So really, I'm not that big. But it has been really neat to be able to see it take off and actually start providing a little income that I never expected. So that has been really neat. And to continue to watch it grow. The one thing my wife has struggled with is when she goes out places, she likes to be anonymous and not known and recognized. So it has been a little bit of a hard time for her if we go to Silver Dollar City because people recognize us there. And now she's kind of like, I don't know if I want to go. There's so many people who see me. But other than that, it's been really neat. They've been very supportive, very great about it. Very gracious about joining in too. One other question I do see pop up occasionally too is, why do you heavily edit your videos so much? There's actually a couple reasons for it. It started off a little bit as the style, but if you watch me for a long time talking without me editing it, you'll notice that I tend to do some lip licking and smacking, stuff like that as I talk occasionally, and like that. And so I try to edit out some of that as well as the long pauses and my stutters, because I do stutter and stumble over my words quite a bit. If you ever watch me preach, yeah, I do it in the middle of sermons too. And so I try to edit out all of that stuff and put together coherent sentences. We tend to be especially sensitive to the noises that I make when I talk. My son has a deal called misophonia. And when he was growing up, we just thought he was being a pain in the neck because certain sounds would actually make him twitch and jerk and would hurt his nerves. And we didn't realize till he was somewhere around 10, 11, that this was actually a real thing and that there's actually people out there who struggle with it. Since then, we've become very sensitive to some of those noises ourselves because we're thinking about him. As an example, if we go to a movie in a theater, we typically go at a time when there's not going to be a big crowd because the sound of people eating popcorn drives him nuts, and it drives us nuts because it's amazing how many people can't eat popcorn. Keep your mouth closed when you eat it. Don't. That's gross. But we've become very sensitive to it. So I tend to edit my videos to try to eliminate a lot of the weird breaths and talking noises and things like that. So that's one of the reasons my videos tend to get some slightly abrupt video cuts sometimes, is I'm trying to make it smooth with what I'm saying, but eliminate some of the other weird noises so it doesn't gross us out, let alone other people who may have the same issue. So I hope all of that answers a few of your questions about me and my videos and what we do. If you've got more questions, please send them in. I'm going to be trying to do short, little, brief question-answer videos here and there as I get some time. And I'm not going to get every question out, but rather than try to wait and do big, long ones, I thought you might like shorter ones. So enjoy. Send me your other questions, and I'll try to get them put out there as I can. Thank you so much for watching.